Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome to episode 589 of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I am David L. Rhodes, and this is Jeffrey Johnson, and this is the Indy Report. I hope you guys are having an outstanding week, and I hope you guys are enjoying your Thanksgiving week. And hopefully you don't have to work like I do, like I had to do today, and I'm going to have to do on Friday.
Hey, you be like that, bro.
You ain't gotta tell me.
But you got all them video games in the back, so you got to work to keep all that stuff going, man.
That's the theory, right? That's what I've been told. I gotta work to keep the toys and take care of the kids. That's what I've been told.
Same.
So how you doing, sir?
Woo, man. Listen, we got a house I have a house of 23 folks coming through. I think that's a soft estimate. So. But this is not my home. This is my father's little palatial estate. I mean, he's a Morehouse man, so I don't think I've gotten to what he's gotten to. So, but, Morehouse man, look out for Morehouse man. So it's just one wing. So, but we're good. So,
yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let me run through the intro real quick. Welcome to episode 589 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU's athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, David L. Rhodes. With me, with co-host Jeffrey Johnson. We are filming live from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Fame, Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. So, man, is there any news you want to discuss today, man? We had a couple of things go on today, go on this week, to say the least.
I would say first things first, they reassigned Big Worm, over at Norfolk State.
It was reassigned, and I guess it changed to relieved.
Yeah,
they changed it to relieved of their
so
duties.
He signed a 5-year, correct?
Yeah, so he had 1 year left on his deal.
So they just gave him that money.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So, wow, I've never seen Norfolk State do that.
Yeah, like it's funny because I was literally having a discussion with folks in the chat about it, and basically. I mean, and I've talked to multiple Norfolk State alums, and they told me the same thing. They don't relieve football coaches. That's not what they do. That's not so this is so they kind of, it took them aback as well, from that standpoint. But good luck to him. We'll see what happens long term for Coach Odoms. Yeah, he was very successful at Southern University.
Yeah.
So for him to go over to Norfolk, but Norfolk is just a hard place to be successful. They've won one MEAC title that was vacated back in 2011.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy place to win.
No, it's definitely not a place for them to win. And it's the funny part. We had the former Virginia State coach, a Hampton alum. Oh my God, my son's coming. Hold
That's
on.
fine.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you. Close the door.
You got 23, man. You'll expect a couple to walk in. Mine might pop up too. I got some active ones around here. So
absolutely. So we had the former coach at Virginia State, who was in that Hampton alum. He went to Norfolk State, and he's very successful there. Goes to Norfolk State, and I think the best he could do was 6-5. So it's like whatever it is that I would say stalls, a program that's definitely there for coaches. So I wouldn't call it a coaching graveyard, but something is in the water where these coaches are not successful there.
And the MEAC's not going to get easier either.
No.
And that's the thing too, right? You got Chennis Berry showed up first year, won the
Woo.
conference. Damon Wilson's going to figure it out at Morgan State.
Oh,
and Trey Alvaro at school down the road is going to. Yeah. They're going to always be in it.
No.
And Larry Scott won the MEAC twice. Like it's so Howard can turn it around as well. Like so, it's not going to be easy. So it's going to be interesting to see what Norfolk State does with regards to that.
It's going to be interesting, and I'm keeping my eyes out open. It's going to be interesting a couple days for them, a couple weeks and months.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating. I mean, they're already talking about
Latrell Scott. No, Chuck Hunt got it right. Yeah, Latrell. Yeah, he came out of Hampton, I think, a year before me. So yeah.
Okay. Now it will be interesting to see. And we're talking about this. Prairie View decided to not renew the contract of Bo McDowell.
Wow.
I listen, man. I not my institution. I'm never a fan of removing coaches after successful seasons.
Yeah.
And I know that this year was not what they anticipated, not what they expected.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's gone to the SWAC championship.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I don't know if I think that, but you never know. They might have somebody in line. I mean, Prairie View's got some of the best facilities in all of HBCU sports and all of FCS as well.
They want a coach that matches that facility, So
we're gonna see.
Yeah,
you can match the facility all you want, but you got to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. This coming from somebody that we did from a school that let a coach go with a winning record. So
yeah.
So you still gotta win.
You think Connell Manor is safe down there?
Yeah, I do. I think Connell's gonna, because he's only got 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah, no.
So I think Connell's gonna get the play out of his contract.
I mean, look, with what he had to deal with this year, he coaches behind off. So
and he still got a chance to end up above 500.
Exactly.
They play FAMU tomorrow.
Exactly.
Well, not tomorrow, Friday. They play FAMU Friday.
Exactly. So
so
and
FAMU's
falling apart too. So.
Yeah, I haven't had to do. We haven't done MD for the last few weeks, so I haven't really given my thoughts on the whole situation at FAMU. But I told folks, man. But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, Lennon, man, you're right, man. I just didn't expect y'all to do it because that's not part of it. I didn't expect y'all to let Odoms be relieved but. Now you guys got to hire another coach, and now y'all gonna have a tougher menu, but y'all gonna get some good candidates.
And you're already in the red too. You're still paying him too. So,
yeah, but Norfolk got it. I ain't worried about Norfolk. Norfolk got it. I ain't worried about that. Quick shout out. No, I have actually. When I went on the tour to Hampton, we pulled up to Norfolk while we're there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
I have.
No.
I have. I've been to Norfolk State. Shout out to the Delaware State Lady Hornets because they won the MEAC championship over the weekend.
Yeah.
Beating Howard, who was undefeated in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Big upset. I caught the end of that game. It was pretty intense set. They did it in 5 sets. So shout out to Delaware State there.
Mm-hmm.
Any other things? Shout out to the Lady Aggies. Their season ended. They ran into the wrong person. They ran into Hofstra. Hofstra was a bad matchup for us all season. And it's kind of wild because Charleston ended up winning it all. We swept them during the season.
Yeah.
So shout out to Lady Aggies for a phenomenal season.
Understood. Yeah, Lennon. I am talking about NSU. From the other side of the water, so you get it.
Yeah, and Lennon.
Well, look, Lennon, I'm gonna tell you this: y'all hired half our staff when the new regime came in. So, I guess the fact that you paying him out is what a Hampton thing that y'all doing now. So,
and Lennon, this is for you, man. And I will be in the building for this game when the Lady Aggies play Norfolk State in women's basketball. That should be a phenomenal matchup. And we're getting healthy, so get ready, guys. It's gonna be a good match. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I'm gonna drive right from the Celebration Bowl all the way to Greensboro for that game at Club Corbett.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna. With regards to the hiring, like Prairie View, I don't know which way they're gonna go. Regardless, there's talks of Fred McNair. We'll see. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
That's kind of like a retread. I mean, we've been there. I would say everybody's kind of been there, done that. You know. Like,
well, I mean, but I think it would be fascinating to see how Fred McNair would do with more resources. I'm curious about that.
That's true.
I that's a fascination for me, right? Like, because I know the type of challenges that Fred had when he was at Alcorn State.
Yeah.
So I would be fascinated to see what he would do with more resources in front of him.
I would say, I didn't even think of it at that angle, because even Alcorn, after winning the SWAC and going to multiple Heritage Bowls, it seems that there seems to be no elevation in that program. So I would definitely agree with that.
Fred worked miracles in that program, and now he might have, depending on how things fall with regard to that position, he might have an opportunity to not have to work miracles and actually just coach.
Yeah.
So it'll be something to see.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Definitely agree.
And as for Norfolk, I mean you got Alvin Parker right up the street, Dr. Alvin Parker up the street.
No, Norfolk is in a fertile recruiting area, so.
But everybody's been attacking it. A&T goes up there. A&T's been going up there for years.
Yeah.
A&T goes up there. I'm pretty sure Howard goes up there. Morgan goes there. I'm pretty sure you guys obviously recruit out there.
Yeah.
So a lot of HBCUs is already, and on top of the fact that they got to compete with all the local schools around them, all the historically white institutions around them as well.
Yeah. Well, I think a few decades ago, they had brought in a coach who was a high school coach in that area, and he was tapped in and didn't really go so well, but yeah.
Yeah, Sam Shade's a good option too, to coach of Miles, and shout out to Miles and Miles and Virginia Union for winning their Division II playoff games over the weekend. Hopefully,
Michael Biggs NSU is in the works. No. I mean,
it'll be fascinating to watch.
No.
All right. On that note, let's take our first break. When we come back,
his wife is a Hamptonian graduate. She was actually in class with me. He's not going to Norfolk State.
Oh, you never know, man. If he wants to coach, that would be a perfect spot for him. And one thing that he'll do,
what?
He'll fix that recruiting. He'll fix that recruiting in the area.
I know we gotta go to break, but let me just say this: who thinks he can coach? Deion Sanders can coach.
We know that now.
Yeah. No. He was coaching in high. He was really doing this thing when his kids were in high school. So
okay.
So right.
But all right, we'll be back after this break, and when we come back, we'll pretty much close out our 2 seasons.
I'll be brief.
No way you'd be more as brief as me. But we'll be right back after this break.
Yeah.
HBCU football fans, a champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 14th. MEAC champions, SWAC champions, the Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Levert Experience and the Bar Cave. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends, honoring talents such as Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit ZoraFestival.org for tickets.
ESPN Band of the Year returns to Atlanta on December 13th. 4 marching bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us on social media for rankings updates throughout the season. And join us at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
Compress the analytic data with your hip-hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
Welcome back to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the Indy Report. You want to go first, man?
All right, so we're talking about Hampton, right?
Yes, we're gonna start with Hampton. You can talk about the game if you like, because you don't have to. I'm not making you.
No,
you.
I need to let it out. Because black folks, I ain't gonna say Hamptonian alums were very hurt and disgusted by that game. So literally, now let's kind of set the context for it. 2 years ago, at that same stadium, we played Albany for their homecoming. They went up 24-12 late in the third quarter. We came back, tied it up, and we ended up winning in overtime on the last.
I remember that.
So they were really upset about that. And then, unfortunately, our players didn't do themselves any favors by running off the field yelling, running your trap, take over your trap, running your whatever that is. Yeah, so I mean, it did not seem like it looked bad. So that was 2 years ago. So we go back to Albany last week. So we initially go up by a lot, but these aren't what I would say. These are quick points. You know, like a bundle, like they fumbled a kickoff. You know, we caught it on around the 10-yard line, took it in for a score. They had a muff punt, and we ended up scoring really quickly. So we had like 21 straight points off of the not of just quick points. They weren't long, demoralizing drives. You know, that I would say just take the sap out of, or take the fight out of the opposing team. There's quick points. And by the time we went up to 28 points, I was like, we got to score here to get 31. 31 to me is the magic number, because once you see 3-1 or 3-0, then it's like, okay, we got a long way to get up there. But we missed the field goal at the end of the half, and they ended up scoring and made it 28-7. Now I'm from Atlanta. The number 28 is synonymous with just terrible. 28-3 in the Super Bowl. So we're all saying it because at Hampton we have a huge long thread, and them threads were coming out 28-3. I remember 28-3, 28-3, and just like I said, the third quarter, they ended up going on a run, and by the end of the fourth quarter, by midway through the fourth quarter, they tied it up. And then, of course, we ended up throwing a pick six, and they win the game. And it was just something that it was just so demoralizing. It was like we were happy with what we saw this season, but then to give up a game like that, just, all the goodwill went out the window, all of it. And even though we had close games with Rhode Island, Villanova, Rhode
Island, Villanova, and Richmond.
Yeah, and Richmond, and the Richmond game came down to the last play where we took a sack when it was supposed to be a Hail Mary. How do you take a sack on a Hail Mary when there's only rushing 3 guys? You're just like, cannot make this stuff up. Rhode Island, we were up late in the fourth quarter. They scored 10 points late in the fourth quarter, take us to overtime. They run a bootleg where the whole team ran after the runner. Quarterback waltzed into the end zone. And just to kind of sum up the season is our team did not know how to win games or close out games. And a lot of it, you can kind of attribute it to maybe, Prunty's not here. We had a new interim coach. And, we saw that same stuff when the previous regime was in. So I would say for us, I would say the season was still a lot of meat left on the bone. Now, what a lot of people were upset about our season was we had a 2-quarterback system with Chris Zealous and Malcolm Mays. Chris Zealous literally is the running quarterback. Mays is the passing quarterback. Mays is the pure passer, but he has no confidence. So literally, he literally would just throw, you could tell the passes had no zip because he was thinking too much. Whereas Chris Ellis I would consider him like a Trump loyalist. He's just blind. Yeah, he's just gonna throw the ball, whether it's in a double coverage or triple coverage, not caring. And it's usually either a pick or a batted ball or just something. So we just really struggled on that end at quarterback. And I felt like if one of those guys literally took the position by the horn, we'd have been great. As far as the running game was pretty solid for us. We had Jaquan Snipes, Elijah Burris, who was hurt, Tamir Robinson, those guys, and Donovan Shepard came on late. A lot of those guys, if you add those 4 guys up right there, we're talking close to about maybe 2,000 yards rushing. So, running the ball was fine, but unfortunately, I would say our season, we did not have enough fight and we could not close out games. And, it was a big letdown because at one point we were angling for a playoff spot and we just lost 4 straight and it was a wrap. So
what a thing for me, man. I will say this, like going into the season for you guys, when you guys let Prunty go, when y'all let Prunty go, the bar was set really low. Like I'll be honest with you, there were folks who was concerned that you guys weren't going to win this game.
Yep.
2, right? Sounding like what us.
Yeah.
Right. So from that standpoint, I think you guys exceeded expectations.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Y'all exceeded expectations. Y'all had opportunities to kind of figure this out to win some games, pull up some legitimate upsets against top 25 opponents. You're talking about Villanova, Richmond, and Rhode Island. All 3 of those teams are playoff teams. They're all in the FCS playoffs.
Yeah.
So you guys are going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And you've seen that progression.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I understand that it's a what could have been, but at the same time, you guys are close. Like y'all are like, and this is a good segue to A&T. I've been hearing how close we were all season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been hearing how close we were all season. But the reality is that before our last home game, which was senior day last Saturday, our average loss margin at home was over 37 points. So I know you guys took us out on a G-Ho, but the reality is we played better on the road than we did at home all year.
Yeah.
So when senior day rolled around against Elon, which is considered it's a neighborhood rivalry, right? Like Elon's like 16 miles away.
Yeah.
From A&T. So it's not that far.
Yeah.
So, typically you would get a pretty strong attendance number when we play Elon. Only 3,000 people came to that game, man. So and part of it was because of what the team has done when they're at home.
Yeah.
And I felt for the seniors because I'm not going to say it's an effort problem with the team.
Yeah.
I think the team busted their tail. They had a lot of injuries going into the year. And they fought pretty hard against Elon in this game. Like they lost the game 31-21. This is probably so shout out, which I believe, if I remember correctly, this is like the second closest margin in the conference. Play.
Yeah.
Because we almost beat, like we lost it Richmond by 3, and this is the second. I believe this is the second closest one.
Yeah.
In conference.
Yeah.
So overall, they did fight. They had opportunities in the first half. They just, per usual, they just couldn't get it. They couldn't get it right in the third quarter. But at least they scored in the third quarter because historically we have not been scoring in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm proud of the effort of the guys, but it's just not enough to get these wins. And now the fan base has letting you know that it's not enough to get these wins. And it's looking like our coach is going to be here for a third season.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. But and based on what's been going on as of late, it looks like he's he looks like he's trying to cut the roster right now. Shout out to Karan Prunty. He was preseason all CAA at the cornerback position.
Mm-hmm.
He just recently informed everybody that he's going to the portal.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other players that's already headed to the portal, so I think we're going to have a big turnover on the roster. And the portal's a tough place, but I'm not worried about KP. KP is going to find a place to go.
He's
KP
not going to be
he's
that.
going to find a place to go. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah,
I'm worried about some of the others, but I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, he's not going to be one of those 5,000 kids that are still in the portal and don't get.
He's going to get scooped up.
No, he's definitely going to get scooped up. But I also wonder, is this a learning lesson for Vincent? Because he wasn't a portal guy in the beginning, and now it's like
he got to win next year.
Oh, he absolutely he needs to win.
He got to win next year. I think there's probably layers that I don't know the full story to, and probably a lot of folks don't know the full story to, but the Aggie fan base is past those layers, right?
No,
you got to win.
They should be. My thing is, we would be able to kind of see what he is intending to do with the players that he brings in, but it just does not seem to see if there's any uniformity. Some of these, it's like some of the players that I see, I was like, okay, they don't match the scheme that I
know. And that's the thing, right? And that's the thing, right? And that was my concern with KP, because KP is really, Karan Prunty is really good.
Yeah.
And I felt like they did not utilize his talents properly all season. All season.
Yeah.
And I was vocal on that.
Yeah.
And so I understand why he's going to take his grad year and go somewhere else. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Because I thought that he has NFL prospect. He should make it to the league.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think he's going to the league.
Absolutely.
So shout out to him, because the thing is, even when the whole situation happened with Sam Washington when he got relieved, he was one of the first ones to say that he wasn't going to go anywhere, and that's commendable.
Yeah.
So shout out to him with regards to that, because a lot of folks hightailed it out of there.
Yeah.
And he stayed.
Yeah.
So shout out to him with regards to that. But I just feel like a lot of the talent that we had, because I think there's talent on this roster, I just don't think they were put in the best situations to excel.
It felt like they weren't coached properly. It's like if you looked at what Sam Washington had before he left, his players seemed to be in the right spot. Primarily the defensive personnel, but at the same time, though, Vincent Brown, it's just like you don't understand, like what is he doing?
Well, here's the thing, man. You're a defensive coach, right? I shouldn't be worried about your defense.
No, your side of the ball is the worst part.
Yes,
it's the worst part. And the fact of the matter is, it's like I think a lot of times you get these coordinators or these coaches that come in and say, my system, and they don't adjust to the players that they have on the roster. You have a 3-down man rotation, and you got guys down there that are 265 at nose guard. That is not going to work. It's like you got to put the kids in the position to be effective, and you just don't see it.
All right, I'm gonna entertain you real fast.
Uh-oh.
Here is the schedule for the North Carolina A&T Aggies in 2025.
Okay.
All right, this is the out of conference schedule.
Sure.
For the John Merritt Classic, we go to Tennessee State to open up the season. Then we go to Orlando, Florida, to play the University of Central Florida.
Money.
Then we come home to finish up the home and home with Furman. We play Furman September 13th. And then we stay home to play the school down the road September 20th.
Okay. Well,
so that's how we open the season. So we're going to, and that's a good segue to talk about the Big South OVC champion, Tennessee State Tigers.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for pulling up that win against Samoa last week.
I'm so proud of Eddie.
Oh God, man! I hope Eddie stays too, because there's been some speculation that he might be making a move, but we'll see.
Where he gonna go?
There's some openings, man, and I think they want him. But I want him to stay there a little longer, man.
Yeah.
I really do. I think Eddie, what he's done at Tennessee State is outstanding. But that being said, I know things are going on with regards to Tennessee State and the attendance at their games. I think they only had like 1,500 people at their games or 1,200 people at their games, something like that. I guess, Simo.
That's bad.
Nah, they're boycotting. So
why are they boycotting?
Something to the effect of conference change. They want to switch conferences.
Oh, come on, man! Y'all ain't they. Okay.
They want to switch conferences.
They've been in that Ohio Valley for decades. Right?
Yeah, and they want to switch conferences, and their leadership is not listening to them.
No.
So this is the way they're rolling. But it creates a quagmire, right? Because you got this phenomenal head coach who also won Coach of the Year for the Big South. So shout out to Eddie George for that as well. So you got this phenomenal coach who came here, turned your program around, got you to the FCS playoffs for the first time in a decade, in over a decade. Now, granted, the first game they got is not going to be easy, but I think it's winnable. They got to go. They got to go to Montana. 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, which is 8:15 Mountain for them. So they got to go out to Montana on Saturday. I'm looking forward to the game. I talked to Zach from the Blue Blood. Shout out to Zach McKinnell. And he said that Tennessee State legitimately has a shot to pull that upset.
Yeah, well,
like because this ain't the same Montana. No, so they could go in there and do it. Yeah. But they just got to get past the fact that it's going to be 30 degrees. It's going to be cold and look like it's going to be clear skies. So at least it won't be snowing.
Yeah.
But they just got to get through that. But but Zach think there's a possibility they can go up there and pull the upset, and I hope they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope they do. They can't start slow against Montana. No, because they have a fan base there.
Oh yeah,
they're among the highest in attendance in FCS.
A dedicated fan base, I might add.
So that's going to be an interesting one. But Tennessee State, they exceed expectations. They had 9 FCS wins. I wasn't too concerned about them making the postseason. The question was whether or not OVC was going to get 2 or 3 from me, and they ended up getting 3.
Yeah.
So like from my standpoint, because I felt like I think UT Martin beat Tennessee State, strong argument. But with Tennessee State getting that top 15 win, ain't too many. I don't think there wasn't a team on the bubble that had 9 FCS wins.
True.
So it would have been hard to not have Tennessee State in there, but then you also got to put UT Martin in there because they beat Tennessee State.
Yeah.
So, but overall, Tennessee State had a phenomenal season. They did what they had to do with regards to that. It'll be fascinating to see what happens in this game against Montana. They're still playing ball.
Yeah.
We always talk about the HBCU national champion.
Yeah.
Wonder how far in the playoffs they have to go before we have to give those guys consideration. I think they're the second best team in HBCU football. The only team I think is better than them is South Carolina State.
That would be a good matchup.
I would love to see it.
I'll say this. I'll give Tennessee State the edge because I definitely like that they have a better ground game than South Carolina State.
It is incredible what Chennis Berry has been able to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's the dominance that he did in that conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible. And now everybody's asking all these questions about, all right, now what? And I'm like, well, first let's see if he can win the bowl game, right?
Now what? Are you kidding?
Yeah. No. Let him win the bowl. Let's see if he can win the bowl, whether he plays Jackson State or Southern, because the SWAC championship's in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So whether that happens, let's see if they can win the bowl game.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the discussion points because I think what he did in the SIAC was incredible.
Yeah.
And he hasn't lost a conference game in over 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with regards to that.
Yeah.
And listen, man, you ain't got to tell me Montana's different, but their fan base is pretty strong. But let's get into the break. We'll talk about some band, we'll talk about some basketball, and then we're gonna close out this show. So we'll be right back after the break.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Levert Experience and the Bar Cave. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends, honoring talents such as Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
HBCU football fans, this year's Cricket Celebration Bowl has a new date. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 14th as the MEAC and SWAC champions meet once again. Join us in Atlanta for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. So, you want to talk about the bands? You want to talk about basketball, man?
You know what? I'll stick with basketball first. This is the first year that I did not follow the the bands. So
my Twitter has been lit afloat. A lot of folks are feeling away, and the only response I have is, "Don't be mad at us. Be mad at the guys that they went second."
Oh, okay. No,
we've been first place the whole way, so I'm not too concerned. I mean, A&T definitely pretty much punched their ticket to Atlanta. They were number one all 3 months. But looking like something.
But it's interesting though. It's like A&T has, good sound, good I would say great routines. Their on-field performance has always been good. I think honestly, I just feel like sometimes we always put such an emphasis on the SWAC bands, whether it's Jackson, Southern. They're very good, but like, because I still consider FAMU a MEAC type marching band, where it's similar.
So that means if FAMU does get the second invite, because it looks like based on the math, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
If they get the second invite, so we're gonna have but they're not gonna say they're MEAC. They're gonna say they're SWAC. I did all the MEAC. I did all the MEAC just last year when it was in the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, no. You're right. Yeah, like they're alumni. Like I would say, they're alumni. Yeah, they're SWAC like, but the school as a whole, presentation wise, is MEAC like, and same with the band. So I don't know. A&T, I love. I think you have the best percussion section, and I know percussion because I played it, and I would say that you guys are phenomenal there. The band is pretty good, so I will always have A&T for the moment at number one. Jackson State, I would say their on-field performance is always good. I do feel like their numbers are a little bit shallow this year, and Southern, it's like, show me something else. That's all I'm gonna say.
You tough on Southern, man.
No, and I love Southern. I love their sound. It's just,
I think the other thing about the SWAC too, and I have to, other thing as a whole, and I have to remind folks of this, is that the Band of the Year competition is based on the field show. It's not based on the stands. It's not based on the fifth quarter. It's not based on all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think some of the fans feel like it should be.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I'll be honest, I don't necessarily disagree. The question becomes, how do you do it?
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes difficult. Like the field show, everybody is clear. Everybody does that it's a thing. It happens. So how do you? So that's a good consistent way. The band gets the opportunity to submit a performance from each month.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to do all that if you choose to do so. Because I mean, I've heard that some bands did not. So you do that, and then they grade it based on that, and they give you feedback, and then you decide if you want to make the adjustments or not, and things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go back about Coach Berry, about whether or not it has to do with his recruiting or not. So the thing for me, like, Coach Berry is a phenomenal motivator.
Yeah.
I've never played football in my life.
Yeah.
But when I saw him talk to his team, I think I was ready to try to figure it out. like he is like such an outstanding motivator from that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that his recruiting, like the thing about South Carolina State, and I'm pretty sure, and Benedict as well, they got to stay within the state. Mm-hmm. South Carolina State's budget doesn't really let them go outside of the state of South Carolina too much. Do they get players out of South Carolina? Yes. But the bulk of those players are within that state, which is not a bad state to go get your players. Yeah. South Carolina is flooded with talent.
Yeah.
Like flooded with talent. And there's not too many FBS programs in the state. So you kind of have that level of advantage with regards to that. Yeah. So I think he recruits really well. He knows he has a system, and he has buy-in from his players. Yeah. Like the fact that they had that backup quarterback in there, man. Yeah. When Eric Phoenix got hurt, and it is like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is that should be scary for everybody else in the MEAC, guys.
I would say it is scary. I would say this too. He is definitely tapped into to the network because if you remember, I think they had a situation where the South Carolina State Qs or the Omega State Psi Phi.
Oh yeah, when they always going to fit up the tradition for them.
Yeah, and so he called them out. Mm-hmm. And Buddy would never do that. But the fact of the matter is they stood down. They were like, all right, we got
you. Because they're frat brothers for one. Exactly. And for two, Buddy would never do that because they didn't get a penalty. They got a penalty in that because that was the A&T game. I saw it when that happened. Yeah. They got a penalty. And that's why he went on them. He's like, those my frat brothers, but hey, look, man, we got a game to win, man. You out here giving me penalties. That's a problem. So I get it.
Yeah, and so I think that he fits the mold of South Carolina, primarily South Carolina State. Also say this too about motivating coaches. Sooner or later, the message is new, it resonates, it works. Sooner or later, it's going to get old. And what's the next trick? It's like you can't be a one-trick pony. Motivation only works one way. So
he can coach, and the thing is, he got an offensive line background too.
Yeah.
So
which helps a lot.
A lot, man.
And a lot of the MEAC coaches don't have that type of background. They're just skill coaches, or they're just overall just either recruiting or defensive guys. So that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Because that is. Offensive line is something that's never discussed enough.
No,
his ability is uncanny from that regard.
Yeah, I definitely think that's probably outside of the offensive coordinator. It's probably the most important coaching position, honestly.
All right, so let's get into some basketball, man. So
sure.
The Lady Aggies, they won 2 rival games in a week. They beat Winston-Salem State by over 20 points. They beat the school down the road by over 20 points. Really, the games weren't really close. I believe, I'm not sure what Winston's record is, but the school down the road's record is 0-8. They haven't won a game yet. The men pretty much had the Buffalo game on Monday. And they ended up losing it by a point. Just bad. But they're still growing. They're still gelling. There's a lot of new players on that roster. But they got some really good guards, man. Ryan Forrest and Glass were coming back. So I think we were projected to be 10th in the CAA. We're gonna blow by that. We're gonna blow by that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be I think they're gelling now. They're making the mistakes now, and they're gonna be ready for conference play.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely agree. I would say for us, our girls are 1-4. They won the first game barely by Bowie State, and I would say they basically played respectable games with Radford. They lost to Norfolk State at home. That was a pretty close game, but Norfolk State, that's a season program, so they definitely have struggled. And the next couple of games aren't going to be easy as well. We got Georgia, East Carolina coming up, George Washington, and Gardner-Webb's a pretty strong program too. So, we're just hoping that we can probably get some wins out of some of these games. But we do know that this is a young coach, a new system. So, we're probably going to be, not scraping the bottom of the CAA, but we'll be competitive. I don't know how far our Lady Pirates coach could get them, in the first year. But as far as the men is concerned, we're 3-5. We had some pretty good games early. We had our little gimme game with Mid-Atlantic. Then we ended up losing 3 straight to George Washington Providence. And then we had a terrible loss home against Norfolk State in front of a great crowd. Only issue with that was a pretty horrible day for us because the first game we lost the football game earlier that day. The girls got beat by Norfolk State. Then we got beat. So it was a 3-loss game, and it was a showcase kind of a game for our athletic program. And it was really didn't go over well. But we did rebound with I would say a couple games afterwards with UMBC, and we won a squeaker with Duquesne. But I would say for the most part, as far as our players are concerned, Noah Farrakhan, man, that guy right there, he basically, you can just tell the coaches kind of lean on him a lot. And we have a freshman out of Chicago, Daniel Johnson. The thing about him, he's a 6'7", kind of like he's a forward, but you never see like a guy like a forward or a freshman come in just not even off the bench. He's getting veteran minutes, so I would say that they're just trying to figure out what works best. And this is the first time coach, so I think we'll be competitive. We probably won't be slated to finish last like they predicted, but we'll be definitely competitive. We're already 3-5, so we'll be all right.
So for the men for A&T, we opening up conference play in the CAA December 3rd.
Yeah.
We opened up conference
play.
That's
too early though, man.
Well, it'll be interesting because the men only have one more game before they play Hampton. We got East Carolina. We go to East Carolina November 29th. And then we play you guys December 3rd.
Yeah,
then
it was fun. Though, they could have thought about that, though.
It's going to be on television, right?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be on television.
So that's why. Look, man, we got to be on CBS. I think it's going to be CBSN, but we're going to be on CBS.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Look, I'm not tripping. I'm just, it is what it is.
A&T's got 4 nationally televised games. So, we got to take them.
Yeah.
And then you guys got the local TV deal too. I saw.
Yeah,
eight men's games, 8 women's games.
Oh yeah, and you know what though? Shout out to athletic director, my bro Tony Henderson. That man be working some deals, man. Woo! So yeah, good job on that.
Yeah, that's big. Like there were talks that we were going to get one too. It hasn't been announced yet if we're going to have it or not. I hope we do because we can get a couple of our conference games in, so that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right now, so like the men we got East Carolina, then we got the first conference game against Hampton, then we got the battle in the borough against UNCG, December 7th.
Yeah. And
then we're gonna have a gauntlet, man. We got to play Virginia Tech, Liberty, Coastal Carolina, number 19 Arkansas. Like we got a nice little gauntlet before we play our rivals down in Greensboro on CBS.
Yeah. Currently, our guys are in the Caymans playing the Cayman Classic. So we did all right. We beat the Cayman yesterday, but then we turned around and lost to High Point by 3. And a terrible. It's just. I guess we're trying to figure out close games. This guy, our new coach, is trying to figure out, the rotation. I would say the last 5 minutes of the game.
I think that's been a challenge for Monty too. We've had a few we've had some we lost that Buffalo game because of bad possessions at the end.
Yeah.
But there's some games like the Citadel, we almost gave that one away at one point.
Yeah.
George Washington, we had our chances in that one as well.
Yeah.
But we've been playing good. Like I can't kill them and beat them up too much, right? Like our record, we're 3 and we beat Morgan State, but that was another game we almost gave away.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we were like pretty much dominating Morgan State for the bulk of that game, and then we almost gave it away at the end.
Yeah.
So like, but I think it's just a matter. They're just trying to get the adjustments. We got the power. We got the players to be competitive in this conference, but we just got to clean it up before we get into conference play. So while that first conference game is going to be early against us, if we lose that game, then I think there's going to be a different level of urgency. But we'll see.
Understood.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. And as for the women, they only have they play Liberty December 7th, and then they play Norfolk December 15th.
Yeah.
So they got a little bit of a break for the next game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes when we go to Liberty. Go down to Lynchburg, Virginia, to play Liberty, and then we'll have Norfolk State at Club Corbett the day after the Celebration Bowl. I'm driving down for that one. I'm gonna take a ride. I'm gonna take the 4.5-hour ride down there from Atlanta to Greensboro.
I'm gonna just say this: Norfolk State squad.
Oh no, they're good. Oh, the women are good. Oh no.
Bold, man. Like
the women are good. Diamond Johnson's legit.
I've never seen them play that well. You know, like the women to me, I thought were the better team as compared to the men, but no, they both got a squad. Yeah, and if they do not win the MEAC, then it's shame on them.
No question about that. They're just like that. It's not a matter of if they win the MEAC; it's whether or not they're going to run the table in the MEAC. That's how I feel. I think the only to them is how.
Yeah. I don't think that
nobody. All due respect to the rest of you guys in the MEAC, ain't none. Maybe Coppin State. Coppin State.
You gonna say Lavelle?
Oh, I'm talking about you talking about the men or the women?
Which one? No. Women. No. Oh, okay, I thought you were talking the men. But no. They gonna be there.
Oh, they gonna clear that. They clearing that.
There's no barrier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Coppin's not bad. Howard's not bad.
I watched Coppin play. They don't have the size.
They might not have enough to do what they need to do.
No, but they don't.
They might. Those are going to be the most two competitive teams that can take down Norfolk, though.
They can
Howard and Coppin. That's it.
They can beat them on an off night, but that's it.
The rest of y'all ain't got a chance. Like the rest of y'all ain't got no shot.
Absolutely not.
Like if Norfolk goes in, and I don't expect them to, if they dominate A&T in Greensboro, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. But if that happens, y'all can go in and shut it down. It's over for y'all. It's over for y'all, man.
They're good, man.
They're good. Oh yeah, they're good. They're ninth. They're ninth in the mid-major poll.
Yeah, as they should be.
Yeah. They should be higher personally, but I think they should be top 5. But that's a whole different discussion.
My concern: why is the coach still there? Like,
let him stay.
That blows my mind.
He loves it there.
No,
he loves it there.
Of course.
I understand elevation. Don't get me wrong, but it's good to have somebody like that because, like, Norfolk State legitimately has if they keep this up, when we're talking about the ladies, let me be clear.
Yeah.
If they keep this up, they got a legitimate shot for a 14th seed.
No, absolutely.
Legitimate.
My thing is like, it's like for us, we're gonna have
maybe a 13.
We're paying the brunt of it because they stand. That's the problem.
Let them stay. I like dominant teams, man. I'm a fan of dominant teams. I like dominant teams. I am an advocate of dominant teams. I just don't want them dominating us. But I'm an advocate of dominating teams.
No, they've been dominating us for a minute, and it's bad too. And the way Norfolk State talk trash, man, is they worse. They worse than Howard.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the show. I know we got one more break, but I'm gonna have to skip the break. It's Thanksgiving, and I want to close out the show on time. So I'm gonna call this show and call it a night, do the outro, and get out of here. As you can go with your 23 other people in the house. Where's my closer? There it is. All right. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure to share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I'm David L. Rhodes, and this is Jeffrey Johnson. And shout out to Dr. J. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, and Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. We hope you enjoyed the show. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavil's Inside HBCU Sports Lab, the Indy Report, with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. And they do it every Tuesday and Thursday, and they also do a Sunday show as well. And I sometimes pop my head in for the Sunday show. Tuesday and Thursday, they're at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Sunday show's at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We look forward to next week as we discuss the news in the lab. Make sure you follow Dr. Kiana Cavil on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our Twitter handles are right here. Champ D1012 for myself, Jeffrey Alpha 06 for Mr. Johnson over here. Make sure you also follow Inside HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook and Inside HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big and continue to move forward. We will talk to you soon. Jeff.
Ooh.
Come on, Jeff.
I know the first class dismissed. What's the first?
It's course.
Word? Course.
So let's do it again. Jeff.
Course.
Lecture. Dismiss.
Dismiss. Okay.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Peace.